I'm going to talk about something slightly different. And I've got 5 minutes, which means I have 4 minutes and 45 seconds left. The first thing I'm going to say, and I'm a broken record on this, I apologise if you've heard me before, is a demographic challenge. If we're talking about Imams in the UK and looking to the future, then by 2030, British cities will be very different to what they are even today. And today they are very different to what they were in 2001. Any question concerning faith leadership in the Muslim community has to address this challenge. We are talking about numbers that should scare the living daylights out of all of us. We're looking at Birmingham going from 100,000 in 2001 to approximately 300,000 today. Okay, so who knows what it will be like in 2030. That kind of change in a city, which is a local environment, has profound impact upon relationships between communities, upon services, upon all kinds of things. And I would like to iterate here that the container that I'm wishing to worry myself about is the city and not the nation state. I think when we're talking about faith leadership, we've got to look at the level of the city in London and the boroughs, because when we're talking about the nation state, the conversation becomes removed from the real lives of most people. That's the first point I'd like to make about the demographic challenge. The second point I'd like to make, and I know you've applied for your funding and got it, is this term Imams. The Imams and the usage of the term Imam has become popular from the 1990s onwards. And I'm guessing it was because when the Anglican Church looked to the Muslim community and said, we've got our vicar, we've got our rev, who have you got? And the Muslims said, we've got the Imam. And in 1995 or 1990 or in 2003, that's who there was there. But I think when we look at the sociology of knowledge within a Muslim community perspective, the term that is far more useful and has been used this morning is alim, is scholar. And I think we need to use that word a lot more. Yeah, it's also ungendered, so you have alim and alima, that makes it more useful. And in terms of sociology of knowledge, it's actually about authority and knowledge and power in the Muslim community. The Imam, Miskeen Yani, is not in charge in the Muslim community, we know that, right? But the alim has more power. So I think we need to start using that word more so it becomes part of the popular conversation as well. And that's a terminological point. And the third point is, are our institutions fit for purpose? And the answer clearly is that our institutional infrastructure in the UK is not fit for purpose. There is a Bradford Council for Mosques, right? There is no Birmingham Council for Mosques in 2019. The Bradford Council for Mosques was set up in 1980, thereabouts. There is a Lancashire Council for Mosques. There is no Yorkshire Council for Mosques. There is no London Council for Mosques. There is a Manchester Council for Mosques. Why? Because 10-15 years ago we were talking about mosques and how poor the mosques were. And these are all to do with the context. The issues that I'm raising are to do with the context of faith leadership rather than the faith leaders themselves. 10-15 years ago we were talking about the mosques themselves. We need to improve the mosques. Now I think we need to look at the infrastructure that supports these mosques. And we need to standardize them. We need to, in the words of Tony Blair, modernize them so that they all become equal and they are doing the same kind of things, which is about quality assurance at the local level. That's what they should be doing. And I would say there that they began as Council for Mosques. That is a historical term again. We need to be looking at Council for Mosques like the Muslim Council for Wales, Council for Mosques and Muslim organisations, because many organisations have been set up because the mosques didn't give them space, whether youth organisations or women's organisations. So I think we can open up the public sphere of Muslim life to women as well and young people by making them local councils for mosques and Muslim organisations. And I think I finished within time. Thank you.